Bring it on. Want some, get some. Can I get a hell yeah? Yes, I am a pirate. You have to go with the pirates because, of course, they have cannons and everything. It's a pirate's life for me. Be proud of who you are and what you are. You're pirate. It is a first down. Pirate. Because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it.
I think I've ever been in a building as loud as that was. It was deafening in there.
Whoever Omaha, I can promise you that. And it's purple all night long in Eastern North Carolina.
You're watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.
My heart is purple and gold. I'm a pirate down of my soul, and I don't back down, not at all. Find out when the cannons explode.
All right, welcome in to the Pirate Football Playback as we're here. And I normally start with Kyle, and I'll get to Kyle in just a second, but we got to get props. Ladies and gentlemen, the birthday boy, number 49 from the Logan era, from one of the great linebackers of all time, in my opinion, and he's a good friend, Matt Semenza. I call him Matty Ice. What's up, dude? Happy birthday.
What's up, guys? Appreciate that intro. And, another year older, but I feel good. And, had a great day. Looking forward to talking about this game. Certainly when you look at this NC State game, guys, there were, a lot of mistakes early on, certainly a lot of things to clean up. But you also walk away feeling like this is a team that if we clean up those mistakes can do well.
No doubt about it. Let's bring in Kyle from LaGrange Barber. Kyle, man, I tell you what, it's a weird feeling, I guess, in the respect of, yes, we lost the game, but I agree with Matt. A lot of football, I got to give you credit. You talked about the off season. If we lost the game, do not make it where this is not our Super Bowl. I'm not downplaying it. We've got 11 more football games, and I tell you what, I'm really excited about this team. I'll tell people this: save your vacation time, save your money. We're going bowling in December. Go, Kyle.
Go, Kyle. I'm pleased with the fourth quarter. We'll talk about what we're not pleased with later. Not pleased, and I posted about it on our Facebook page and our X / no, I didn't get it on X or Twitter. It was too long. It's just on Facebook. My thoughts on slowing it down, and I'll get into that more in depth later on that last drive. You got to be who you are, and that's not who we are. And I think that's really, I don't know if it cost us the ball game, because who knows if we would have won it, but it cost us an opportunity to win the ball game. And we'll break that down more later. Matt, the edited open there, did you notice the final score posted? Bubba put that together for us. He used the final score from a Matt Semenza game, and one of my favorite games of all time that I've been looking for on DVD for forever, or VHS, ECU Wake Forest from '97. Did you notice the new open there, Matt?
I did. I love that. And well done, guys. Well done. I mean, that's a game that, for anybody listening, if anybody has a recording of the ECU Wake Forest game from '97, yeah, Kyle is looking for that one. So, and I am too. Honestly, I am too. So
you're offering a $5,000 reward, right?
So, yeah, Matt is offering a $5,000 reward. He said he wanted it too. That's right. So,
Johnny's fronting it though. JR's fronting that money, so it's all good.
Yeah. What's up,
JR's got plenty to spread around. JR, you went up there.
Oh, that's right. Who shot JR? Oh, I'm sorry. No. Johnny Robertson, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, man, what's going on? I was there, and I'll tell you, I was impressed. It was a very well-run operation, and I didn't have one problem with one fan. Everybody was very friendly. I just wish the game would have ended differently. But, hey, we were the better team. I mean, people, they might think I'm crazy for saying this. We were the better team the last 32 minutes of that game. When you start the first quarter, and at the end of the quarter, you have 8 total yards of offense and 10 yards in penalties. And in the second quarter, you get down to 17-0. I mean, a lot of teams have given up, but not these Pirates. That wasn't going to happen. And I'm very proud of the way they performed. and I'm psyched for the rest of the season. I may feel better than I did before that game. You know.
Hey, and guys,
Did we introduce Stevie? I'm not sure if we introduced
yeah,
Stevie.
I said hello to Stevie.
Okay.
I'll say hello. Stevie Fly, what's up, brother?
What's up?
What you got special? You told me ahead of time. Tell everybody about your grocery store.
Oh, shit. Red Square Market. Johnny's been through there, but he just didn't stop by the grocery store.
Man, I tell you what.
What about Red Square Market?
You can't beat our meat.
Oh, okay. You can't beat our meat.
I'll tell you one thing. You talked about you had what is it? The hamburger on special. Great deal there.
$4.59 a pound. $4.59 a pound.
And hey Matt, let's cook some ribeyes when you come.
Well, when is Red Square Market going to start buying advertisement here on the podcast?
I'm just giving them some props because we were talking about the meat prices, and I was talking about grocery prices, and but I imagine the meat prices were better than most places because that's what your big thing is, right, Stevie?
Oh yeah, we go. That's the big thing is the meat. What draws them in there.
Yeah.
I do want to give you guys an update Friday night on the game Friday night because something happened that has never happened in my coaching career. Of course, you guys know we play with 9 guys, and we played Columbia High School.
So set the stage, everybody who's new listeners might not know. Stevie Fly is the head coach at Northeast Academy. They play 8-man football. They were taking on Columbia High on Friday night.
Yep. So we're playing with 9 guys, and it's 22-16 in the second quarter. They've got about between 20 to 25 guys on their team, and my best player gets hurt. Serious injury, it looks like. We step up with 8 guys and force 2 turnovers, tied up before the half. But second half, some more injuries, and we started playing 6-on-6 for a quarter until I had a couple more injuries, and I just had to call it. They put our guys. I said it last week. Effort is not a problem, and Kyle's heard me talk about. Me and Kyle talk about it all the time, but bodies are the problem. Having players. If I had 14 or 15 guys just like the ones I've got right now, we'd be awesome. I mean, with that same attitude, they've got the right mindset, right attitude, and they won't give up. These guys didn't want. One guy, I thought he had a concussion, would not come off the field. He did not want to come off the field. I had to make him get off the field because nothing. Say what you want to. I love football, and back in the day, I know Matt. Back in the day when you got your bell rung, you stayed out there on the field many times, as did I. But nowadays with some of these kids, you got to really watch them. And he was one. So that, the game might be up in the air this week. I don't know. It depends on how the injuries go. So we'll see. But, I can't say enough about these kids, the effort they're putting out for us.
How many guys, I've been wanting to ask you for a year now or more, how many guys do you have at that school? Is there just not enough interest, or because you're a great coach and obviously for a long time? I mean, it's not.
I'll tell you what the problem is. If Stevie wants me to, Stevie hasn't.
Let's not go there.
Okay. All right. I'll keep my mouth closed.
Yeah. But I don't know, Dave. There's plenty of guys out there. But I'll just say that there's plenty of guys at that school. I'll leave it at that.
I get it. So let's talk ECU, NC State. Obviously, I know some people. I will just say first, and I'll get your guys' opinion overall, and then we can break it down. I thought for me, what I was fearing is when it was 17-0, my mind went back to Mike Houston Charlotte game, and I was like, oh God, are we going to go back? Where they're just going to lay down and let NC State look like the national champion? They're not. I was really happy. I will say with the fight they had in them, that shows this great coaching where those guys are not giving up. Speaking of which, Stevie just talked about with his team. Very happy with that. I think what I'm hurt about is I'm hurt that we lost to NC State. I'm hurt knowing that we could have won that game, and the time management was not good, and the play calling at the end of the game not good. Or otherwise, I feel like we have a chance to win that game. I did want to say, I want to ask you guys, this question before we start talking about the game. Do you go for two? I feel like you go for two when you're on the road and you don't know how.
Depends on when you score. If I mean, it goes back to how I think things should have played out. We should have never slowed down. We had it down in the red zone with over 2 minutes to go in that game and just completely slowed down. We had them on the ropes playing tempo. This offense is all based on tempo and rhythm. And Coach Harrell had the idea in his head, we're going to play for the final possession, get it in the end zone with a little time left on the clock and go for two. The concept is fine and well. It's just not who we are. We're not designed to slow it down. That's not what was working. Now, if we had a good running game, yeah, okay. But right now, in this offense, even with the running game, it's all about tempo and rhythm. But particularly when you don't have much of a running game or any running game in that game, the pass was tempo and rhythm was working. So if we'd have scored like with a minute and 20 seconds left, Dave, no, kick the extra point because State's going to get a whole nother possession. You're going to have to play defense anyway. It's tied. They put you with a field goal, whether you got the two or not. So if we'd have never slowed it down, then kick the extra point. Now you take into account what Blake Harrell did. Had it worked and we got it in the end zone, like with 30 seconds left, I probably go for two. I understand. Let me say it this way. I have no problem with him going for two. I don't know if I would have done it because we had all the momentum. NC State, their kicker sucked.
Oh my God.
Their quarterback was playing, to me, at the end of the game, the worst he had played in the game. I think his nerves were starting to get to him. So I think our D-line wore down their O-line a little bit too. We got our one sack on him late in that game, which is a good sign. Not that we only had one sack, but that it came late. But so I have no problem with him going for two. I don't know exactly what I would have done there if it would have played out the way he wanted it to. If we'd have scored with 30 seconds or less to go, because that's what he was going for. But had we never slowed it down like we shouldn't have, and I'll break that down more in a little bit. I'm going to go on a little rant.
Yeah.
Had we never slowed it down and just kept in rhythm, and you score with like a minute 20 left, then no, kick the extra point because there's a you have to play defense anyway, which is what we should have done. We should have trusted our schemes and trusted our players to do their jobs rather than trying to win it with coaching. And I'll go ahead and say it now. Blake Harrell's a good man, and I think he's a really good coach in terms of motivating players. But that's 2 times now I've noticed. Go back to the bowl game, Rajay Harris.
Yeah.
On the long touchdown run, he wanted them to take a knee and tried to hold on to the ball and win it with a field goal at like the 10-yard line. Thankfully, Rajay didn't hear him and got it in the end zone. I would tell Blake Harrell, who am I to tell Blake Harrell what to do? But Blake, last year you said repeatedly, this is about the players. And I believe you believe that. But when you try to win games on coaching decisions instead of trusting your players to make the plays that you have coached them to do, then you're trying to win it from the sideline versus letting your players win it on the field. And that would be the one thing I would say. Just keep being who you are. We have an up-tempo offense. Don't stop running it. And then when we score with a minute and 20 to go, trust your defense to get the stop. Because I would have. And so I think you should have too. I mean, that's my one, rant from the game. And I guess I just go ahead and got it out. So, Matt, what are your thoughts on the end of the game?
Well, I hated the last call. I really hated the very last call. And, I just think that in that situation, especially when you're throwing a pass behind the sticks, right, that's a terrible mistake. And I think there were a lot of better ways so many different ways we could have handled that. And I apologize for the dog in the background.
Mellow.
You guys jump in and then I'll jump back in a second.
Stevie, what are your thoughts at the end of the game? The change, the slowing it down like that, and then the final call itself.
I'm like you, Kyle. I mean, and believe it or not, I made that mistake early in my coaching career, trying to slow it down and doing that and didn't score. You got to score points. I mean, you got to, like you said, you got to keep that momentum and exactly what you said. That is who we are, and we changed who we are. Just like your post on Facebook, be who you are. Go ahead and score. If you want to go for 2, that's fine. But you got to make sure you score. Running the clock out, good, but you got to make sure you put the points on the board, especially in that situation. And the last play call, I'm just like Matt. I was not happy with that. I'd rather take my chances running the ball as bad as the running game was than throw it. You know, you got a guy that's going east and west on 4th and 1 and not north and south. I mean, and I know we're a shotgun team, but you know, and I know, you know, that point in the game where we had been in shotgun just about every play, it probably would have been different for Hauser going up under center, but I'd like to see him go under center and just go in a power formation and just smash the ball. But I'd have felt a whole lot better, even if we didn't get it then. I'd have felt a whole lot better about it that way, just trying to smash it. You know, and I know some people aren't happy, but look, these guys went down 17-0 in the second quarter, early in the second quarter. We finished 17-7. I know we didn't win the game, but we, just like Kyle said, we can't let this define the season. We got to move on, look at the positives, and correct the negatives. I mean, that's what you do. You know, your first game, you hate to lose to the Wolfpack, but that's where you build off of. You look at what you did wrong and you correct it, just like we did last year. But we don't need to wait till the second half of the season to correct them this time.
Johnny, how do you feel about do you go for 2? How do you feel about the end of the game? And then we'll go back.
I mean, obviously, everybody has the same consensus. NC State, they slowed it down, and that's what got us back in the game. I mean, this is the first game of the season. These kids are getting in a rhythm.
JR, by the way.
What's that?
It's a good point. I didn't even think about State slowing it down. You're right. They're up tempo this year too, and you're right. That did give us the opportunity to come back in the game. But go ahead.
Yeah. So what I was saying is these kids, first game of the season, you know, at least for NC State, they're in a rhythm. I mean, they're rolling, and now they're slowing it down. They slowed it down to the point where they only ran 25 plays in the second half. I mean, They ran 24 plays in the first quarter. So, you know, it didn't work for them, and then it didn't really work for us either. The running play on third down, if you're going to run on third down, which I don't think we should have, we couldn't get any yardage at all. And the only person that was getting success on the ground was London Montgomery. He wasn't in the game. So if you're going to run, at least let, you know, Montgomery, or I thought Gunn was our short yardage guy.
Yep.
So I was surprised to see Parker Jenkins getting that carry, to be honest with you. Nothing against him, because he's going to, you know, he'll have some good runs for us, but I thought that was the wrong spot to put him in there. But the fourth down play, yeah, you never throw. When you need 1 yard, you don't throw the ball sideways. I mean, you, like Matt said, behind the sticks. And here's the other thing. That was the third consecutive pass to Riles. They had just thrown 2 to him. So, I mean, it's not like the defense wasn't, hey, man, we better check out Riles. He's just caught 2 in a row. So I think they were probably keying on him. And the whole call was, I didn't like that ending whatsoever. I'm with you guys.
Yeah. And you know what, just to jump in on that, JR. So, like, you know, on this show, we always really, you know, we try to give credit where credit's due. And, you know, last week I talked about how in the bowl game versus State, John David Baker called a masterful game. I mean, he was one step ahead all night. He had a great feel for what they were doing defensively that night. And I think the game plan was fantastic. Wasn't really like that in this game. You know, I think NC State kind of took it to us. And I never felt all night offensively until probably late in the fourth quarter that we were in any type of a rhythm. You know, I just felt that we were, for whatever reason, I don't feel like JDB had a great feel that night for calling plays. And I thought that, you know, in particular, you know, you have to stick with the running game to a certain extent. You know, like, I understand we're getting bottled up and you have to stick with it, right? Because you want to keep your those linebackers and safeties honest. But my biggest issue was that it was the diversity or the lack of diversity in a running game. Everything was try to pound it up the middle, pound the rock up the middle, when I thought maybe we could have tried some different things in the running game. You know, maybe, you know, something like a sweep or a little more speed option with Hauser, which we showed that one time down, you know, when we scored a touchdown, and it worked beautifully. So my issue wasn't so much that we stayed with the run, but it was really the lack of diversity in the running game. But I thought it was a rough night overall, offensively. I thought, for JDB, wasn't his best performance. And, that's going to happen sometimes. But the last play, I think that's one he's going to want back because, it's one thing to throw in that situation, but to throw it behind the chains and not really give yourself a chance to even make a play. That's what stung the most for me, guys.
That whole sequence was just overthinking it, coaching from trying to slow it down, which we did not need to do, and have it be the last possession and win it with a 2-point conversion to, all right, it's 4th and 1, the run's not working. What can I call? All right. And I really think what they thought is they were going to catch him off guard. Worst case, it would pick up the first down. Best case, it busts for a touchdown. I think I think it was all overthought. I think the whole damn thing. Again, they were trying to win the game on the sideline, and of course, the players have to execute the plays. But I really think that was trying to win too much on the sideline, rather than just being who you are and doing what you do.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Kyle. Is that yes, there's a lot of plays that might be throw people off, but again, look at time management. I would say to the coaching staff, look at the time management. You wasted a lot of clock because it's a mindset of
that was intentional. That was intentional. Yeah.
What I'm saying is it's not that they were being incompetent. What I'm talking about is a mindset of playing not to lose because you're afraid you're going to leave too much time on your hands. When look at what Rajay did. He ran it down the sideline. You got Matt jumping up and down. We win the ball game because you've got to be, in that particular case, in my opinion, you have to be aggressive. And going back to where you were, up-tempo team, so be up-tempo. By the way, guys, Joe Giglio had a great line. He said, NC State, wins, Dave Doran loses. And they were the fans were talking about, Johnny, exactly what you were talking about, the fact that they slowed the game down. Doran's always being conservative. But the reality is this. I think we made our mistakes early, but we have a good football team. And I know their people are very hurt. Do you really think I want to lose a game, much less NC State? However, our mindset is not what the fans for NC State don't understand is this is not our Super Bowl. Even if we won the game, this is not our Super Bowl. We played 12 football games. And yes, the offensive line, which we'll talk about, was not what we thought as advertised, but we talked about Matt. Remember, we talked about how this is a situation with these guys. You can't. They were talking about on SiriusXM last week, and they made a great point. You can't just be shuffling in a whole bunch of offensive linemen, and you can do that for the defensive line, but you can't for the offensive line. And I think it was on Friday, and I was like, yeah, exactly. With our team, we've got to have that cohesive group. And I do think they're going to get better. I think we're going to have a good week against Campbell. And I think the next couple weeks will be good. But we'll take one game at a time. Campbell's on the clock. And, guys, do you want to start recapping the game?
Yeah, we'll talk about the offensive line since you brought it up. We played 7 or 8 guys on the O-line. They're trying to find the right 5. In the fourth quarter, Panda Askew and the other kid from Greenville played the whole fourth quarter, and that was the best quarter for the line. So it'll be interesting to see who starts this week. We could not run the ball at all against them. Now, I do think State has Tulane, BYU probably have better defensive lines. So I think it's going to be the second or third best defensive line we're going to see this year. So that's a good thing. But we could not run it at all on them. That was the fact that we did what we. If we had any running game at all, we win that game, and we don't have to worry about winning it at the end. So the lack of a running game was very concerning. I think they'll get it fixed. If they don't, the good thing is, while this offense traditionally, the Lane Kiffin version, if you will, and what we did last year, does rely on the run a lot. There is a lot of air raid aspects to this offense. So as we saw, you can be a primarily throw football team out of this. But we really need to get a running game going. I'm sure that'll be a focus against Campbell, and then more so in 2 weeks against Coastal. But the offensive line and pass blocking, they did well at times. At other times, Caton was getting pressure, particularly early in the game. Less of that later, once he got in a rhythm. So, and you know, at one more point, we ran on NC State with such great success in the bowl game. I think that was a big concentration for this game, was to not let the run beat them.
Agreed.
And I think we had the same mindset. We weren't going to let Hollywood beat us, and boy, we shut him down. But but I think the combination of them focusing on the run game, making sure the run didn't beat them, them being NC State, and then just trying to find our rotation at the offensive line, and we're missing Rashee Harris in the center position. You know, losing our center back in the spring to injury and kind of having to have some guys that wouldn't be starting at center as our 1 and 2 at center, and which kind of screwed up the whole line. So I think we're trying to feel our way through there. I would expect the running game will get better as the season goes. It's going to have to. It can't get no worse. I say that we haven't played BYU yet, but the running game's going to have to get better. I expect to see a big improvement from that this week. Guys, Matt, what was your thought on the offensive line play, particularly at the running game?
Yeah, I mean, I think you made a lot of good points, Kyle. And in particular at the tackle position, I think we really struggled there. And that really showed itself in the Pro Football Focus grades this week. Left and right tackle was a major struggle. You know, you go back to that bowl game, you had Parker Moore start at left tackle and McCrimmon started at right tackle. Now we've shifted him over to left, and we have a D2 transfer at right tackle. And, you know, I'm not so sure right now if that's the best thing. I think, like you said, Kyle, I think they're trying to find the right mix of guys on that O-line. I'm almost feeling like it might be better to move McCrimmon back to right tackle, all right, because you shore up at least that position where he seems more comfortable, and then you can sort of experiment more at the left tackle position. But we really struggled to get any push whatsoever. It was really tough to watch at times, and you know, I think NC State, like you said, it was a huge focus for them and their new DC to stop the run coming into this. And they did a really good job. I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due. They played really well up front. But I'll say this, and then I'll pass it over to you guys. I think our O-line coach, Matt Maddox, I think he's an outstanding coach. He's got a great track record. If you look at the progress that group made last year, from the beginning to the midpoint of the season to the end, so I think you're going to see a much better product on the field next week against Campbell. And, you know, you'll see some experimenting with personnel groupings, but you'll see a better product on the field.
No question. And again, we have to have the mindset of, like I was talking about, with this team coming in, with playing NC State. You know, you think about NC State, and we had that 2018 debacle where it should be Virginia Tech. I pulled hard for. By the way, congratulations to South Carolina winning that game against Virginia Tech. I'm like, oh my goodness, they're like one of my biggest rivals. Can't stand Virginia Tech. I hope they lose every single game. And so we played that game against NC State, lose 58-3. You think about where that was Montgomery. You think about Houston last year with the first half of the season, especially that Charlotte game. I know, Matt, I'm sorry to talk about your team, but Charlotte is just like this. It was so despicable. I have never come so close in a press box to lose my mind and start cutting promos as good as Kyle does. But that was really, really hard. But guys, I think the mindset needs to be now. You look at next week, you have the home game against Campbell. You don't look ahead, but I felt like Coastal is not Coastal, not to get ahead of ourselves, but plenty of wins left on the thing. And the other thing, guys, I want to mention is this is another topic I wanted to bring up to you guys. It's still, even though we didn't play our best, we had a chance to win the game. To me, that's Pirate football. A lot of times we play these games and knowing that we probably won't win the game, we try to be as positive as we can on our show. But we still have to be objective, like the show name says. And it felt like, for me, I said, hey, we still have a chance. My prediction is we go 8-4 this year. We're going bowling. People were asking me, Friday, the last couple of days, like yes, I'm very upset we lost the game. Very upset it's NC State, but we still have every goal that we want on the in front of us.
Yeah, absolutely. Every goal still on the table. Right, Johnny, I wanted to ask you the defensive line play. We talked about the offensive line, but just the defense in general, particularly the defensive line, and the linebackers and the safeties coming up against the run, Tegan Wilk, etc. What did you think of the defense Thursday night? To me, it was surprisingly good, particularly against the run, but even against the pass. We gave up some big pass plays. But overall, I thought the defense played, particularly being how damn long they were on the field in that first half, as well as they could have.
Yeah, I mean, all you really have to do is look at Hollywood Smothers. You know, he almost beat us in Annapolis, but this time on, so he carried the ball 22 times. 13 of those carries were 2 yards or less. I mean, that's almost impossible to believe, but that's what we did to him. Also, we had 10 tackles for loss. I mean, that's the last time we did that was, I think, week 3 last year against App State. So it's been a long time, and this was a quality team we were playing. So the defense, especially since they were on the field for 12 minutes and 40 seconds in the first quarter, you know, they had every right to just get tired and fold up, but that didn't happen. And I was especially impressed with Damian Wilson, linebacker, the Will linebacker. Yeah. He had a great game. It's funny, the 2 number 10s had 2 of the best games. Damian Wilson on defense and Brock Spalding on offense. So, you know, that was funny. But yeah, I thought the defense did exceptionally well considering what they had to deal with being on the field so long.
Yeah, and you know what? Even when NC State had big plays down the field, there were a few passes where they had some massive gains down the field. We were in position all night long. You know, like we just didn't make a play on the ball. There was a long, you know, I think the one play where we had a little bit of a bust was their long touchdown pass. They ran a little switch from the slot, ran a little wheel, and then you had the post route, and we got hit on that one. But other than that, we were in really good position. I thought we tackled well a lot of the time. But, you know, again, it's just you go back and you look at this game. It's a game of missed opportunity, right? The one that jumps out to me the most, guys, 10 penalties. You're just not going to beat a quality team with 10 penalties. You're just not going to do it. I mean, the fact that we even had a chance to win this game potentially, you know, 1 or 2 plays away from tying it or potentially going for 2 says a lot because there were so many mistakes in terms of penalties. Yeah,
the open field tackling was great on our part. There was a couple of times we missed a few, but I'll say this, the secondary coming up, the corners coming back up and making plays and tackles, yeah, they handled that really well. And pretty much the defense did its job after that first possession. Because I know me and Kyle were talking back and forth, and that first possession, they were getting blown off the ball. And but defense settled down and did their job. You know, just like Johnny said, staying on the field for 12 minutes and 30 seconds, you know, that wears a defense down. And you know, the offense to me at the first of the game, especially until they got that it just looked like it didn't look like an offense that had an identity at first. They were, you know, and where was Petaway? I know we targeted him on some bubble screens early in the game, but they were playing cover 2 a lot. And once we started attacking the middle of the field with some fit passes on that cover 2, we were doing nothing. I don't know what took so long for him to come around, but you know, that can't happen against a good NC State team like that. But you know, what and Hauser, I think.
Hey, Stevie.
Yeah. Go ahead, John.
No. I thought you were finished. I was going to add something, but I'm going to wait till you're done. Then I'll add something.
Yeah, Hauser had, you know, I'm like Kyle. Kyle said it, I think, on the 5th quarter, had probably his best game as a Pirate. and it was so quiet until who I think was the MVP of the game and really put the spark. Brock Spalding came when they went deep to Spalding, and then it just like opened up. And they had the targets with Tony Smith, but Spalding kind of got that offense going after that long pass to him. It seems like we got in a rhythm after that. I don't know if you guys agree with that or not. Go ahead, Johnny. I'm through.
Okay. What I was going to say is that was an excellent point you brought up, because I think Matt was like me. I was really, really looking forward to watching Petaway, from the slot burn. He's a burner. Watching him go deep when everybody else was paying attention to the Smiths. But, man, he barely played. I think he was in the slot maybe 14 times. Our new slot receiver apparently is Riles. I mean, Riles did not line up in tight end most of the times. Most of the times he was in the slot. Sometimes him and Connor were on the field together. Spalding lined up in the slot. That kid Mangum, he lined up in the slot. Waiters lined up in the slot. It just seems like they went away from Petaway after the two short, passes out in the flat where he lost a couple yards on both of them. I thought maybe he may have been injured. I'm not sure, but that's a good point, Stevie. Where was Petaway? Because that was something I was a little disappointed in.
Yeah, I think maybe I am curious too, Johnny, if he was injured, because we were definitely trying to go to him early. We gave him the ball on a few jet sweeps. Very first play of the game, jet sweep, nothing. I think we lost 5 yards there, and then he kind of just disappeared. So it's a good question, definitely something to follow. With his sort of disappearance in the game, it was really refreshing to see the emergence of Spalding, who I thought played a hell of a game. I mean, where did that come from? I mean,
Do you think you start him in the slot this week, Matt?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he definitely deserved, at the very least, increased reps for sure, because he played a really good game. He's a tough player. I like the way, kind of like the attitude he brings on the field too.
Yeah, no, I wish we would have targeted him earlier in the game.
Yeah, I would. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I think me and you talking back and forth Thursday night during the game, Kyle, I was saying, why aren't we trying to throw the ball down the field? And I understand, I think that first half when Hauser was trying to pass down the field, I'm like, Matt, the tackles were allowing a lot of pressure. And it seemed like a few times Hauser was getting hit just as he released the ball. And that probably kept us from completing some long passes. But, you got to keep going down that field. I mean, that's just not who we are. I know they were probably trying to get Hauser in a rhythm with some of these short passes, some of the screens and stuff. But, I mean, attack the middle. When we attacked the middle, that's what opened it. That was the first touchdown. I mean, we caught them 12, but the pass across the middle, that was open all night.
Yeah, I think the game plan, I think they wanted to throw it outside and run it up the middle, and it just took them a long time to adjust. So another thing I'd like to see is more runs from Hauser going forward. Somebody mentioned the speed option we ran, more of that. And, Mike Wright, boy, they knew what was coming every time Mike Wright came in the game.
Yeah,
so we got to be, and I'm sure against Campbell, you can just put the ball in Mike Wright's hand and he'll bust a big run of the speed. But we got to be more creative with the way we use Mike. Maybe put him in as a decoy a few times before we use him. I mean, there's sometimes a guy can benefit you just by being on the field as a decoy, and that may be something we need to do more with Mike Wright. And then finally let him touch the ball and he'll hit something big. Because you start using the guy as a decoy, all right, they just got him on the field as eye candy. Don't pay attention to him, and then this time he touched the ball and it's a 90-yard touchdown.
Absolutely. That was one of the things, one of the disappointments is I really thought that Mike Wright would have a bigger and better game. But you also have to put your players in the position for them to be successful and to win. And I agree with you wholeheartedly, Kyle, right there, is that they must have seen the film or seen something, because I think it may have been the fourth quarter. They had him, and as soon as Mike Wright touched the ball, like you said, there was some red shirts on him quickly. You guys with the the second half. I thought you guys are right. I thought that you could feel in the third and fourth quarter there was so much momentum, and I think let's put. As a matter of fact, I'll put this up right here. Pays' comment. Should have went fast when we got the ball to the 18 in the fourth quarter. We had them on their heels and confused, and we slowed it down. Absolutely, Pays. I can't agree more. I thought for sure that we were going to continue the up tempo. It's like I think the word for me is urgency. I know the game plan, what they were trying to do, so it's not like we were confused. It's a matter of we've got to play to win. We cannot worry about playing not to lose and having too much time. And our defense, as many thanks to a lot of viewers tonight, thank you so much, and listeners. We had plenty of confidence in that defense. At least I thought so. I thought the defense was much better than advertised, in my opinion, overall.
And well, much better than we thought it was. I mean, Coach Aldridge talked about how much he believed in the D line and thought we'd be pretty good. And honestly, we gave up some big pass plays, but he's a good quarterback and they got good receivers. I feel, who knows? We may look horrible against Campbell, or more so in 2 weeks against Coastal on defense, but yeah, overall defense was good, particularly being what we expected it to be. Offense in the passing game looked like we wanted it to in the fourth. We just needed to do that all game, and then need to get a bit of a running game, and then special teams. Kicker was put in a tough situation after a penalty on that first kick. Long kick. It was right down the middle. Didn't put enough leg in it. Second kick he made, he was perfect on extra points. Really fake punt. Worked to perfection. I thought special teams were pretty solid. Didn't do anything really special in the return game, but all aspects of special teams besides that, I thought were really good the other night.
Yeah, Kyle, I'm like you. The how, and I know it's easy for us to say we're sitting here, but when you're trying to set up that last play before the half, we're just trying to set up the field goal. And, these linemen, you got to let off a little bit when you're doing that, and I know it's easy for us to say here, but you got to let off that penalty cost us, a field goal there. Because if that penalty doesn't happen, he hits that field goal.
Yeah.
And, and as far as the fake punt, that took major cojones there. I mean,
it executed to perfection.
And yes, and it was a perfect time to do it. I'll tell you a story, and I don't want to ramble on too much about it. My first year coaching, we're playing a team, and we're up by one score, and we got pushed back to our own end zone. I had a freshman punter. The first time he punted, we had a penalty and pushed us back even further. He's standing in the end zone, and 4th and 20. I look up, and he sees something that I didn't see. He takes off. He gets 21 yards, gets a first down. I pick him up, and I said, "Hey, buddy, good job." I said, "Don't ever freaking do that again." And the other coach, we ended up winning. That was key point of the game. We ended up winning. The coach for the other team said, "Hey, man, did you make that call with that fake punt over there in the end zone?" I said, "Heck yeah, I made that call. You ain't dealt with me before, dude. I made that call." So, you got major cojones. I ain't gonna say exactly what he said, but yeah, you got major them if you did that. And to this day, I guess he still thinks I made that call. But yeah, that's the first thing I thought about when I saw that play too.
I'm pretty sure that was called. I don't think he did that on his own, but. All right.
So with the overall with the game, I felt like with the, you look at that, I felt.
Like, no, Dave, I know where you're trying to go with this. Overall, the game we lost. We lost. I mean that's really we is there any more points anybody wants to make about the game? I mean we go ahead, JR. Sound like you're about to say something.
Yeah. Well, I was going to just jump in there. I mean, overall, it just wasn't. Okay. It just wasn't a good enough performance. You're just not going to beat a team of that caliber and play that type of game. And again, you go back to the 10 penalties. You're not going to win like that. But we talked last week about how important it is in an opening game, and you see this all around college football. The first half of the first week is sloppy. If you guys watched the South Carolina Virginia Tech game today, that game got very sloppy. You think about the Kansas State Iowa State game, very sloppy. We talked about how important it is to be game ready in the first quarter of these games, and unfortunately for us, NC State took it to us early. They seemed ready to go.
Yeah,
and it just took us far too long to get into the game, so it just wasn't good enough. And again, it comes down to like what you want from a program. If you want to be a middling American Conference team, all right, this is acceptable. If you want to be the type of program that has a chance to someday get into the playoff, you got to find a way to clean these mistakes up and win these games, because they've just happened far too often over the years. And the penalty stuff, guys, that's the thing that really drives me nuts. Just a lack of awareness sometimes, false starts, bad holding penalties. I mean, we got to be a smarter football team on the field. So, look, if you can clean that stuff up, you're going to have a chance to win some games. If not, if you're going to have 10 penalties, you're not going to beat anybody. I mean, maybe you beat Campbell, but you're certainly not going to beat a BYU or an Army playing like that.
I agree.
Yeah,
Hey, Matt. I'm sorry. I have the perfect stat from Matt's first comment about starting slow. Okay, so in the first 27 and a half minutes, we had 35 total yards of offense. In the last 32 and a half minutes, we had 378 yards, which was 181 more than State had. I mean, we just dominated. And that slow start it was just a dagger. And the penalties. But I thought that was an interesting stat.
That's a great stat. And just one final thought I have, guys. I'll tell you, I kind of gave some of the negative things, but I'll kind of finish off my point on a positive note. What I liked, and this falls right in line with what you just talked about, Johnny, I think at the end of that game, we were the stronger team. We were trending in the right direction in that game. And I thought we started to play much better as the game went on. So that's definitely a good sign for sure. So, a lot to build on. I'll tell you, I wouldn't have wanted to be in that film room if they had it today, if they went over their film today. Or yesterday. Certainly a lot of mistakes to clean up. But Stevie, as you know, as a coach, sometimes when you get that film, and especially after the first week, you can clean up a lot of mistakes just by watching that, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, and that's what we talked about earlier when I said that first game, you find out who you are. You find out, just like I think B-Pay talking about with the O-line change in the second half making a difference. They were putting in, like you said, they were putting offensive linemen in different combinations, and they went with the most effective. And I love that guy. I mean, I hope he plays the rest of the year. Panda. I hope Panda plays the rest of the year.
You know what, Stevie? They talked about him all spring and fall camp about how much he had improved. I thought he was going to be starting.
I thought so too, but
yeah, this is a kid from Greenville who started. He was a starter at Charlotte under dumbass over there, and then he Biff, and then he two Conley kids exactly, and then he transferred out of there because Biff, God Almighty, it was a rotating door at Charlotte when he was there.
He ran out.
So and he's Conley, and the other kids from Conley, and they got pride. They got pride in this because they're from here.
Yep. And that's the thing is that you have guys like the Pandas of the world. They want to be here.
What the heck?
Well, Panda. What about Panda?
The Pandas of the world.
It was just funny the way you said that. The Pandas of the world.
Guys like Panda. Guys like Panda.
Pandas of the
world. We got to have, hey, Panda, if you're listening, we got to have you on the show, dude. We got to have you in here.
Oh, yeah. Can we get with $600? Anything under $600 doesn't have to be cleared. Can we give him, come up with the NIL deal? We'll get Panda. We'll have the Panda segment of the week.
Yeah.
We'll have to
Panda
ask
killer.
you. We'll ask Panda a question. It's
There
ask
you
you a question time with Panda.
He actually,
dude, let me tell you, all jokes aside, those two Conley guys made a big difference. That's when the offense got rolling, and the pass protection was better. But yeah, between Spalding and those two guys coming in, I think they were the two MVPs of the game on offense for me.
They should both be on the all-name team. Brock Spalding and Panda Askew.
Exactly.
I mean, those are great
but
names.
do you know the story behind that?
Which one, Panda or Brock?
His real name, I believe his real name was Jaden. So
Panda or Brock? I'm assuming you mean Panda.
Panda, yeah.
Okay.
So his real name was like Jaden, right? So he
got in a fight with a panda bear and won.
No.
Oh.
He actually was a really good baseball player for Greenville Little League, and his nickname was Panda. But the coach wouldn't call him by the name or let him. So he actually got his mom to change his name legally to Panda. His name was.
I did not know that. Where did you hear that?
A lot of the Conley folks have told me that story. 2 or 3.
I did not know that. I hope that is not one of those urban legends. I hope that is true. That is a great story. That's we got to get him on the show. We're gonna get Panda. Can we have, if not as a guest, if not as an NIL deal?
Who's the other Conley guy?
Bryce Weaver.
Let's get both of them on the show, dude. Bryce and Panda. If you're listening, guys, y'all come on the show. I love to.
Well, we got to go through the proper channels for them to come on the show.
Yeah.
But
Alan,
we would like to have him on, at least on as guest if Coach will allow it. And in the past, we've signed NIL deals with guys to come on the show, paid them a little something to contribute. So if you guys, I'll tell you what, we'll ask our audience if you want to see Panda and Bryce on the show, the Conley kids. Let us know, comment, and depending on how bad you want to do it, we can start up a GoFundMe or a Patreon and get the listeners to donate, and we'll give that money to Panda and Bryce and have them contribute to the show if they want to do it, and if the fans want to see it, we'll try to work it out. I just put something out there, Dave.
Hey, in Pro Football Focus, Panda was the #1 rated run blocker, and Bryce was the #1 rated pass blocker. So there you go.
That being the #1 rated run blocker in this offense is like being the tallest midget.
Well, anyway, so
no disrespect to Panda, we do love you, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, hey, you know what? Offensive line will get better, as Matt said.
It definitely will. We have I'm like you, and Matt Maddox is a hell of a nice guy too, by the way. Something about him that comes across as very old school when you're interviewing him. Not old school in an old grumpy type coach way, but it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just his look. I don't know if you guys, JR, Stevie, or no, Stevie, you weren't there. JR, Dave, either one of you guys interview him at the media day?
No,
we didn't get him.
Okay, I talked to him and enjoyed my interview with him. He's just got a very old school personality, Coach Maddox.
Yeah, I really I feel good about it. And let's move on to Campbell. By the way, we'll have our Campbell preview on Wednesday night at 8:00. So for the Pirate preview. So make sure it's every Wednesday night for the preview and every Sunday night for the Pirate football playback.
Yeah, we're working on trying to get, no promises yet, we're trying to get Chris Haymeyer from Campbell, play-by-play voice of the Campbell Camels, former play-by-play voice for ECU baseball many moons ago, and the Kinston Indians many moons ago, and WCTI 12 sportscaster. Love Chris Haymeyer. So hopefully we can work it out where he can come on. If not, I'll have my Aunt Sandra on. She went to Campbell. Does that count for anything?
Sandra. Yeah. Aunt Sandra.
Yeah, she went to Campbell, so I'll just have her on.
Oh, it sounds good. I'm sure that's a ratings pleaser.
Yeah, I bet she'll get a lot of look. Hey, she's worked for the Tennessee the police department there in the Chattanooga, Cleveland area for years, so you have a lot of cops watching.
All right.
Badass.
She handles a lot of narcotics, Stevie.
Oh, Lord.
Well, no. She doesn't do a lot of narcotics.
I didn't mean it like that, Kyle.
How dare you insult my Aunt Sandra?
How dare you?
I didn't get a chance to watch the Campbell game. Did anybody? I know some of the viewers have talked about it.
I didn't. Kept up with the score. Rhode Island, 12-2 team last year. Number 9 preseason, top 25. Former Pirate assistant Coach Matt or Matt, I don't guess he was your direct coach, but you played for him when he was here. He coaches Rhode Island, and he's been there a long time. But
Jim Fleming, yep.
Yeah, Jeff Fleming. They had a hell of a season last year, 12-2, and preseason number 9. And Campbell played respectably against them. I think it was 35-20. I believe that was the final.
Yeah. Campbell, though, they were gifted 10 points. Rhode Island muffed a punt on the 3, and they fumbled a kickoff on the 18, which Campbell turned into 10 points. But interesting, their quarterback is Cam Sixkiller. He's from Cherokee Nation out of Oklahoma, and he's
Campbell
related.
Rhode Island.
No, for Campbell.
How do you say his last name?
Sixkiller.
Cam? Did you say Cam Sixkiller?
Yeah.
Oh, holy shit! He's a
he
cowboy.
played at McNeese for 2 years before he came here, but he's related to a guy back in the 70s who was also from the Oklahoma Cherokee Nation that was University of Washington's quarterback. His name was Sonny Sixkiller, and he played a little bit in the NFL. I don't know that he actually ever went into a game.
Would you say he was in the NFL, Johnny? In the 70s?
He was in the NFL, but I don't think he ever actually played in a game. But in college, he was one of the first guys that threw the ball downfield a lot. Like this was the early 70s where everybody was running, wishbone, flexbone, all that stuff. And he was chucking it down the field. So,
JR, you, Stevie, and Dave, tell us what the 70s were like.
Well, I don't even actually remember that. I just
hey.
He was on the cover.
I watch stuff on YouTube, old games.
Hey, Johnny and Stevie, if you remember the 70s, you didn't do it right.
Dave, how old were you in the 70s?
I was up to 7 by 1980.
Were you doing a lot of black tar heroin when you were 7?
No, I was not. But that's but for people that lived in the 70s that were adults, they know what I'm talking about. And if you
did you say that the 6-shooter, the Sixkiller,
he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated in 1979, University of Washington.
There you go, Stevie. There you go.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is his nephew. Is that what you said, Johnny?
Cam is related to him. It's not his grandson. It's like his nephew's uncle or something.
Yeah, okay, great nephew probably, or great.
Yeah, something like that.
So Sixkiller is a great name. He also goes on the all-name team.
Yes,
that's fantastic. I wanted to transfer here and be our backup just because his last name is Sixkiller. I have no idea if he's any good or not. I hope he's not. But
wow,
I never take any game for granted. Look, I saw, some good East Carolina. What was it? 2013 when we won 10 games and ODU was still FCS, or that was either their first year of FBS, and they came in here and it took us. It was like 42-31. It was a freaking ball game all night. I remember Townsend in 15 when we were okay. It was a ball game. The 70s were the greatest 15 years of my life. Okay.
Oh boy.
Alan Vick. How old is Alan? He's about. How old is Alan Vick?
I don't know.
He's like 5 years old. Let's see. He's like 50.
Alan, how old are you?
He didn't. He's talking crap. He isn't old enough to have partied in the 70s.
No. He's
it's another BS line from Alan Vick. He's known for his BS lines. Just Alan Vick, just constantly with the horrible Alan Vick. You know how these radio people are.
Thanks, boy. Oh, how about that?
Yeah, I was just reading that.
Sixkiller was also a cast member in a great football team. The Longest Yard, 1974. Yeah, I was right. 57.
I'm going to yell at him the whole time. You'll never be as good as your great uncle. You'll never be as good as your great. He'll come turn around and look at me. He wasn't my great uncle, you asshole.
Well, you're in proximity where you can talk smack.
You're right. I certainly can. I normally don't, but I certainly can. I am. The proximity of my seats does allow that very much so. But I'm looking forward to being in Dowdy Fickle Stadium, guys. And we're going to touch on a little bit more of the Campbell game. Big preview will be Wednesday, and we're going to talk about some other games for this past weekend before we get out of here. But look forward to being in Dowdy Fickle. It has been too damn long. And the last time we were in there, we lost to Navy. Last time Pirate fans got to be together in a large group, besides folks who went to Raleigh, was at the bowl game. That was a lot of fun. But it's going to be good to be back in Dowdy-Ficklin against the Campbell Camels. And need to get on the winning track. I actually, and I've talked to Bubba about this. He agrees 100%. Or maybe JR, it was you that agreed 100%. But maybe it was both of you, actually. I might have had 2 separate conversations. I don't remember now. But I think with this offense, and next year is going to be the worst with Alabama. I think with this offense, you really need a tune-up game to start the season. I think this offense is nothing but rhythm. And you need to open up with a Campbell or a Gardner-Webb, or, if you're going to play an FBS, maybe someone like Delaware who's just coming up or something like that. You need an opponent that you can get in rhythm against. And NC State, fourth
Not
quarter,
Alabama, Kyle?
No, not Alabama. That ain't going to do it.
Well, hey,
Hey, with John Cena.
hey, they may. Things are so bad in Tuscaloosa right now. I sent you a TikTok video, but
he's a good coach. It's not a good fit. And anybody that followed Nick Saban but anyway, we'll talk about that in a minute. But I really believe this, and JR, I believe it was you and Bubba that both agreed with this 100%. I don't know where Matt and Stevie, and I know what Dave's going to say. Dave wants to play Alabama and then follow it up with LSU. But this offense has got to get in rhythm. And this weekend against Campbell, I think that's what it'll be about, is getting this offense in rhythm. Wouldn't be surprised to see the score not be as lopsided as people want, because we're really going to concentrate on establishing a run game and figuring that out, I would bet you. But I do think we'll win it handedly. Just don't be surprised if it's closer at halftime than you want it to be. But you got to get this thing really, got to continue the rhythm from the passing game from the fourth quarter, then get the running game going against Campbell, and then get this thing going for Coastal. Coastal struggled against UVA yesterday. UVA is really good. This is probably the best UVA team they've had in a decade. But Campbell, I need to go back and watch that whole game. I DVR'd it. I watched the first quarter, some of the second quarter. Coastal, rather. This will obviously be talked about more in 2 weeks. But they look to me, on offense, like they've changed their offense, like they've gone to more of an air raid. They look like they're still trying to learn that offense. Defensively, they blitz a lot, and so they gave up a lot of big plays in the passing game early. I don't know how much they did late, because I haven't got to the third or fourth quarters. I haven't looked at the stats. But what I saw was a lot of blitzing, and because of that, they gave up a lot of big plays. If they can get to your quarterback, they could be a problem. I do like their scheme on defense, and I like their defensive coordinator. But the other night, or last night against UVA, they were not, and they were giving up big plays because of it. Offensively, to me, it looks like they're really trying to learn a new system. I don't even know that for a fact, but that's what it looked like to me. And they take a lot of deep shots. So I think that game against Coastal, I think they're better than they looked last night, but I do think that's a game that, we should win on the road in 2 weeks. Not looking past Campbell, but it's just on my mind. But I do want to touch on this. Should I save it for next week, guys?
What?
I'll save it for next week. I got a topic that I really want to touch on about that Coastal game, but we're gonna not disrespect Campbell. Yeah, we're not going to disrespect Campbell, and we'll save that topic for next week about Coastal. But it is in regards to their field, so we'll just save that for next week. But go ahead, Matt.
I'll just jump in really quick on Coastal. That's a program that really outsmarted itself. They had a perfect system for who they are with that spread option. And it kind of reminds me of when we had Lincoln here, and we should have stayed with that up-tempo spread offense. And then you bring in, ultimately you wind up with Mike Houston, who's a guy who wants to be a power running guy. It just doesn't work for your program. I kind of see Coastal the same way. They had a perfect system for their university, but hey, hopefully it takes them 3 or 4 more weeks to figure it out, because they look terrible against Virginia. And you definitely, that definitely gives you a much better feeling going into Conway.
Well, since we're talking about the damn thing, I'm going to talk about my point. And
go ahead, man. Just go ahead. It's all good.
This is no disrespect.
Campbell's not the most exciting thing to talk about, so we could talk about it.
All right, so I want to ask y'all this, and I think y'all thought it was crazy in the text group earlier. Look, that teal turf.
Oh.
Just like Boise, there's a reason all these teams, including Eastern Michigan, with the gray turf. When they put this different color turf down, it's so disorienting. And the only people that are used to playing on it's Coastal. They get to practice on it and everything else. That is something that bothers me. How are we going to adapt to that, and how do you practice for it? They make paint for turf and grass that does not damage the grass. I swear to God, I would paint one of our practice fields completely friggin', or at least half of it, at least 25 yards of it, or excuse me, 50 yards of it, completely friggin' teal. I really would paint half one of the practice fields teal and just practice on that end of the field. I know, there's probably some people that think that sounds dumb as hell, but how else? The only other way I can think you can orient yourself to it is maybe if you had an indoor facility, you could do something with the lights to make the turf appear to be teal. I don't know if we could do that on our practice fields, if we even have lights up out there. I don't even know if we could practice at night and do something with the lights to make the turf. But there's got to be a way to simulate that, because I think that is such a huge home field advantage for Coastal. And if you look at their home record in recent years, it would bear to be true. I don't know how you simulate that again without an indoor practice facility where you could make the lights, make the turf appear to be teal. I swear to God, I would take one of our practice fields and paint 50 yards of it teal. I swear to God, I would. You guys think that's crazy, or am I overreacting to how disorienting, Matt, do you think as a player it would be to go step on a teal field to play a football game?
It's a good question. I mean, I never played on any type of a field like that. Like, you think about like Coastal with the teal. There used to be like Eastern
Alan
Washington.
Vick is on tonight.
Eastern Washington had a red field. I never played on a field like that, but I don't know. I honestly don't know if it would be something to throw you off or not. Like, I kind of feel like, the thing with football is like once you get through that first series, you kind of settle in. But I don't know. I mean, it's a good question. I don't know how to even answer that, not having played on one.
Stevie, what do you think? You coach and play. Do you think it would be disorienting?
That's hard to say. It would definitely be different. I was just talking about this to some of my players the other day. One game, and I don't know why they did it that year. This was in 1991. They brought out a fluorescent striped football. I mean, it had a stripe all the way down the middle, all the way around. It was just fluorescent. I have no idea why they did it. It's not like you couldn't see the football at night with lights. And it was it was the most aggravating thing as a center, getting the grip on that thing right. That was one of the most aggravating things I've ever had to deal with.
Just disoriented. It seems so. It was such a change. And maybe I'm thinking about this so much. I have really bad vision, and I know lights and different colors really screw with my vision. And so maybe I'm overthinking it more than. But I don't think so. Look at Boise's record. Look at Coastal's record since they put in the surf turf. Look at Eastern Michigan's record at home since they put in the gray turf. I'm telling you, it disorients the opponent. And I swear to God, I would take one of the practice yards, paint at least half of it teal that week.
To it.
Yes, just to get used to playing on it. Yes, and I'd love to talk to Blake about this. And Dave, can we get an interim at the press conference for the week of that game? Because I'd love to get that. I'm not being serious. We've had interims at the press conference before.
We have our very own
Alan
Vick is there. Alan Vick is there.
Alan, if you will, on behalf of the Sports Objective, please, the week of the Coastal game, so not this week, but the following week, if you will, please ask Coach Harrell how disorienting he thinks playing on that teal turf will be, and is there any way to simulate playing on that, or if it's something he's even given any thought to? Because I'd really like to know. I swear to God, it would bother me so much as a coach. I really would paint one of the practice fields, at least half of it, teal. And I may sound like a lunatic, but I don't care. It won't be the first time. JR, what do you think? Am I overthinking this?
Yep, I think you are.
Screw you, JR.
I'm not thinking about it at all. To be
honest, JR.
Well, go check their home record. Go check their home record. Go check Boise State's home record. Go check it. Just check it. Just see if paint on something.
I think there's 0% chance they're going to paint one of the fields teal. I'm pretty sure.
Look, if I get it in Coach Harrell's head, he might do it.
Not so fast, my friend.
We don't want any teal in Greenville.
Not at all.
What about my friend Lee?
You know how I feel about Coastal.
Oh yeah, Johnny and I are in the same school of thought, and also the fact there was a guy last name Chadwell. That's the reason why they have a lot of wins there. Not discounting what you're saying, Kyle. I'll take it in consideration, and we'll see how that is. But Kenny says,
Okay, all right. Look. I'm just telling you, it ain't just them.
he says, Kyle, do you know how cheap John Gilbert is?
Yeah. Paint ain't that expensive. I'm just telling you, Boise, Eastern Michigan. Check Eastern Michigan's home record since they since they started using gray field turf. I'm just telling you, man.
Alan says, if I mention painting the field teal, my credential will be
Well, you
revoked.
don't ask it that way. Look, y'all can all kiss my ass. I think I'm on to something. I think I'm on to something.
Hey, Kyle, maybe one of the reasons I don't care is because I'm colorblind. So I don't even know what teal is really. So,
Well, it's kind of
All
an
right,
in-between
Johnny, now
shade
have
of
somebody
blue and
comment.
green. It's kind of
I mean, blue, purple, teal, green, they're all the same. Well, blue and purple are the same to me, royal blue. And teal and green, they look the same. So,
There you go.
You know.
Axel, Pirates lose no more than 3 games. You heard it here first this season. Well, I hope you're right, Axel.
Hey, guess what? When you were talking about that, I'll give you credit, Kyle, because I'll take it. I will. You brought that to our attention, and I tell you why I'm happy that you're talking about that, because if our team was so bad, so god awful against NC State, or we had an awful program right now, the last thing you'd be talking about is a teal field. Am I wrong?
Absolutely.
I am happy that you're talking about a teal field, because that means, like Axel says, we're going to have a really good season. And like I've said before, you can be 11-1, win the conference championship game, and you're in the playoffs still. You can win everything. Everything's in front of us. If we have several games in a row where we're struggling and barely winning,
Iowa paints the visiting team locker room light pink, and
Yeah.
their home and their record at home since they started doing that is like astronomically better than before they did that. I'm telling you, stuff messes with people. All your senses are connected. And when something's off, like your vision, you're used to seeing green, and suddenly it looks like you're standing in the effing ocean. I'm telling you, I don't like it. I don't like it one bit, and I don't think it should be allowed. I think the NCAA should ban it. I think you have green field. Everybody has the same color field. You don't get to have blue field or red field or teal field or gray field.
Purple field.
Well, not well.
Yeah. Hey, let's paint it purple.
Paint it purple.
No, let's don't say we did. I don't want to attack the crap out of Pickle Stadium.
You don't want to have purple.
It would probably give us a huge home field advantage, but I
It
do
would.
not want that crap. Yeah, exactly. Why would it give us a home field advantage?
I don't know. I'm going by what you're saying.
What about you?
I don't. Hey, Johnny Stats, check the numbers for all these schools: Eastern Michigan,
I'm going to do it, Kyle.
Boise State, Coastal Carolina, and Eastern Washington.
I
Check
will
the
do
numbers
it.
since they started playing with different color field and prior, and see if.
And I also checked their number against the point spread, because that kind of indicates performing above expectations. So I'll do both of them.
Yeah, well, Boise's had blue field since the 80s, maybe the 80s, at least the 90s. So
hey, I have a few American Conference things that I want to talk about. I'm going to be quick, Kyle. This is kind of cool.
Can I guess what you're going to start with?
What's that?
Can I guess what you're going to start with?
I was just going to say the Zach Kitley era. What?
Go ahead, JR. Go ahead.
Okay. I was just going to say at Florida Atlantic, Zach Kitley era has started. They're the only team that threw more than the Pirates did this past weekend. They ran 96 plays against Maryland and threw 62 times. But here's the problem. They threw no touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and the rest of the American, the other 13 teams combined, only threw 4 interceptions. So this might be a rough first year in Boca Raton.
No, he was going to come in and immediately turn it around. They won 10 games.
That ain't happening.
People.
But it might happen in Philadelphia, where the Casey Keeler era got off to a good start. They looked really good. Simon threw for 6 touchdowns. But the other successful debut was Scott Abel at Rice. Okay, so last year, Rice threw the ball 61.5% of the time. Yesterday, they ran it 85.5% of the time and had an ugly win in Louisiana, 14-12. So Rice is going to be just like playing one of the academies. So that's going to be a change. And then the only other new coach that was Tulsa. I mean, they really didn't have any competition, but they won. That's good. They're Tulsa. They won their opener. So Trey Lamb is off to a good start there.
What did you guys think about the controversy down in Tulane?
Well, I don't really know that it's a controversy, but
controversy about what?
Tulane, Northwestern, was asked to wear purple so Tulane could wear white so they can match the exact uniforms of the Katrina team, because that's what they had to wear because it was what they had. And after the devastation caused by Katrina, and Northwestern refused and wanted to wear white, and so Tulane only got to do the helmets. They didn't get to do the white jerseys, so they wore the helmets with no wave on the side, just plain green helmets. And they, at the end of the day, they whooped Northwestern 23-3, I believe it was.
Yes.
So who really cares about the uniforms? They did what they should do. When you get disrespected, they handled business and almost got the shutout. So huge win for the American there. By the way, how about the I believe, guys, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that was the only Group of 5 win over a Power 4 team this week.
You might be right on that.
I believe so. I believe from week 1, and then you go back to week 0, Hawaii beat Stanford. So there's only been 2. And I cannot tell you the last time through, week 1, there was only 1 win. If you go back to week 0, 2 wins over Power 4 opponents for the Group of 5. So that's a little nugget for you. There was some near upsets like East Carolina over NC State. Rutgers almost got beat by Ohio. Wake Forest should have lost to Kennesaw State. There were several other ones out there. There were near misses. Jacksonville State almost got UCF. But I believe the only Group of 5 win over the Power 4 was Tulane over Northwestern.
Well, what about the game that I told you all that I wanted to watch more than any of the other ones was Tarleton State at Army. Because I wanted to check out Army's new quarterback. Well, I wasn't overly impressed. Actually, they were running 2 quarterbacks there in the second half, and Tarleton State beat Army.
Yep.
So that's another one.
Yeah, that's what I kept saying a minute ago that you weren't understanding, that you're probably going to start with Tarleton State and Army. Tarleton State's a very good program, very good Division II program. They moved up to FCS and immediately started making the playoffs. They're actually talking about moving up to FBS and joining Conference USA.
Yeah.
They got a lot of money, and they're climbing through the ranks in a hurry. So very good FCS program that's spending money. So they probably, I don't know this for a fact, but I bet you their NIL budget's towards the top of the FCS.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So not your run-of-the-mill FCS team. People don't know about Tarleton State because they were Division II power for so long, and who follows Division II football. But not shocked they upset Army. I think people are overreacting a little bit, thinking Army's probably like an 0-12 football team because they don't know Tarleton State. They're like, are you saying Charleston State? Which doesn't exist, by the way. That's literally what my wife thought I was saying the other night. So, but I do think people are overreacting to that game just a little bit. I think Army nowhere near as good as they were last year, but I don't think Army's going to be a 0-12, 1-11, 2-10. They'll be fighting for a bowl game.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, the only reason Tarleton State won that game, they had one guy on defense that had interceptions on consecutive Army possessions, and then on the third possession, he had a fumble recovery. So without that dude, I mean, Army probably would have won by double digits, but he set them up in good field positions 3 times, and it paid off. That's how they won that game.
Yeah, and then good performance in overtime. They made the kick when they had to, and bad loss for the American, but probably not as bad as it sounds. So
Charleston went from $25 to $41 million budget in 2 years.
And that is a really high budget for an FCS program.
Yeah.
And that's a high budget. $25 million is a high budget for a Division II program. So yeah, they'll probably be kicking heads in Conference USA in another year or two.
Yeah, no doubt. And
is Matt coming back, or do we know?
Birthday, he bounced, as he said. He bounced.
He had company coming for his birthday.
Oh, I didn't know his wife was going to do that for him this year.
Wow. All righty then. Keep moving along.
I just thought him having friends. Let him have friends come over.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
With you
the as far as the American, were there any other games that Johnny? You had some stats. Is that
for what?
Did you have stats for the American?
I know. I just had those comments that I gave. I always have stats, but I don't want to bore anybody at this point.
That's why we got the best stats man in the business.
I'll give you a stat. I'll give you a stat if you want a stat. I found this a crazy stat. Okay. We have to start talking about the NC State game again. Okay, so their kicker looked pretty bad to me. So I looked him up on Max Preps. Any idea what his career field goal record was in high school? I shouldn't say record. Well, here's what he did. He made 4 out of 10 field goals, and his longest was 30. How on earth is he the starting kicker for an ACC team? I don't understand that. Thankfully, he was for us, but that's Kyle. That's why I was not gonna. I didn't think going for 2 would be the thing, because I thought if we went into an overtime, we would have a huge advantage at kicker, and so that's kind of why I didn't.
I agree with that actually. I didn't have a problem with going for 2, but I agree with you. Had it been up to me, I would have. That's another reason I would have went ahead and scored, because State would have played for the field goal and they'd have probably missed it. I got a stat for you, Johnny.
Turn the tables.
What's that?
Ready?
Yeah,
I got
go
a
ahead.
stat for you.
I'm ready to hear it.
Coastal is 38-17 at home since installing the surf turf.
Wow.
Is that good? I'd have to look at the schedule.
Yeah.
That's really good.
38-17. That would be 55 games.
What were they before? Like 1-11 or something. I don't know. But damn it, my stats still my stats.
Jamie Chadwell has nothing to do. Has nothing to do with coaching. So, Scotty Montgomery.
They've gone to back-to-back bowl games since Jamie Chadwell left. It's not like they started losing.
Hey, we're gonna bring Montgomery back and just paint the field blue. Purple.
Paint it blue, huh?
No, paint it purple, and everything will be great.
Look, yes, Jamie Chadwell's a great coach, but if anybody doesn't think, I don't know how y'all don't think stepping on a field of a completely different color is disorienting. How do y'all not think that? I mean, I don't. Jessica agrees with me. Well, thank you. She's a very educated person.
Alan Vick says, I would not have a stat battle with Johnny. That is not going to end well.
No. You don't challenge Johnny.
Well, how about we'll have an effing rap battle then, and we'll see how that goes.
Are you going to do
a rap battle? You want a rap battle, JR?
You going to be the PN News of the rap world, Kyle?
No. I wouldn't have a shot.
Wouldn't the PN News of the rap world be PN News, Stevie?
No, he's in the wrestling world. He was not a rapper.
He was a rapper. He was a wrestling
he was not
rapper.
a real rapper.
He wasn't a real wrestler either.
All he said was, yo, baby, yo, baby, yo.
Yo, baby, yo. Exactly. There's like one person maybe that's going to know what the hell we're talking about.
Exactly.
But
cornbread.
I'm just telling y'all, and it'll be something I harp on all the way through next week. I do think that playing on that different colored turf is disorienting. And I don't know how other people aren't agreeing with me, except for Stevie. But whatever.
Yeah,
all right, guys, we brought the show to a screeching halt.
I know. I'm waiting on you guys.
And we're crickets.
All right.
What about some more? What about games? Let's talk now, Kyle. We were talking about earlier. Let's talk about some games, big games or games of interest that you guys had, and maybe the same thing for our viewers and listeners. What do you guys think about the whole Alabama thing with Florida State and Alabama? That was a big win for Florida State. and I like their coach, but man, they've been on the. You want to talk about a coach that's been on the hot seat? He's one that.
A smart move hiring Gus Malzahn to be his OC. Gus Malzahn has a history of beating Alabama about like nobody else. Florida State. It was for God, what is his name? Memphis' old coach. I can't even think of their head coach's name.
Mike Norvell.
Norvell. Yeah, it's kind of crap or get off the pot time for him. So it's he needed that win, big win for them. Huge loss for Bama. They got to still go through the SEC slate, which is brutal. So bad start for them. Other games of note, I watched everything Friday, watched everything after our game Thursday night. Saturday I didn't watch as much. I was at a birthday party for the majority of the night. Watched all the late games. Trying to think of other things that really jumped out at me that were surprising.
Brian Kelly getting a win, an opening.
Oh yeah, I do want to talk about this.
Yeah, LSU Clemson. Yeah, that was a good win for LSU. But go ahead, Stevie. What did you want to talk about that?
Let me tell you, and I know I'm gonna probably make some Clemson fans upset. Look, nothing wrong with your entrance to running down like you always have done. That's pretty great.
Howard's Rock.
But the bus thing, you got to stop it. Taking 3 buses 50 feet around the stadium and then let guys off, that's ridiculous.
I know what you're talking. I saw that.
I don't know if you guys agree with me or if you guys saw it. They even put cameras in the bus where they were watching the Clemson players on the bus. What the? I mean, that's just ridiculous to me. I'm sorry, Clemson fans. I love your entrance and stuff, but you're overdoing it with the bus thing.
So kill the bus, keep the running down, touching the Howard's Rock, but not the bus. I agree with 1,000%. It really is. It really is silly, and there was a lot of talk. And they still probably will. But what do you guys think about Clemson? Do you think that what you saw last night? Do you think they win the ACC? I mean, it was the ACC.
What about Florida State?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What about?
They're still favored to win the ACC, I would imagine. But I think LSU, if they would have lost, it would have been easier for them to get back in the playoff conversation because they have a tougher schedule. They're playing an SEC schedule.
Yeah,
Clemson doesn't have a lot of chances to impress people. They're going to have to be lights out the rest of the way, in my opinion.
Yeah, I have to look at Clemson's schedule. Do they play Florida State and Georgia Tech?
I'll have to look. I can't. They definitely. I think it's going to be Clemson, Florida State, and some people say North Carolina. Look, let me tell you something. We'll see tomorrow night, but I am not impressed with Bill Belichick. I'm sorry, everybody. Tom Brady won a Super Bowl in Tampa. That's all you need to know, and he has more rings than Bill.
Yeah, and to get back to the Clemson discussion, I think it's a 3-team race in the ACC. I think Clemson. I think Georgia Tech was getting a lot of preseason hype, and they lived up to it in week 1, beating Colorado on the road. And Florida State is back. Plus Miami. I haven't checked. What is the score of the game with Notre Dame right now?
14-7.
Miami at halftime.
And if you guys,
so there you go. Clint. So I'm gonna disagree. I think Clemson's got plenty of chances to prove themselves. I think the ACC is got 4 teams that could compete for the playoffs this year. So I don't know if they're the favorite or not. When you look at Miami, Florida State, and Georgia Tech, I think Clemson's got some competition at the top of the ACC. So as far as the Carolina hype, we'll find out more tomorrow night with Coach Belichick and his Tar Heels. But
hey guys,
I certainly hope TCU whips that ass.
And SMU could their offense, they could surprise some people. Not surprise some people, but they could cause trouble.
True
they
that.
were in the championship game last year.
Yeah.
Guys, I got something for you right here from B Pays.
Sure.
Just saw a report on Twitter of Notre Dame joining the Big Ten in 2028.
Who's it from, Pays?
Yeah, because I don't. That's
I mean, who's it from? That's a big thing on Twitter. I mean, I can go type that on Twitter.
That don't mean it's true. If you guys haven't checked out, you need to check out the highlight of one of the Miami touchdown catches. It's probably a early candidate for catch of the year right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn that on as soon as we get done here.
How about this?
Hey, what you guys think about Archmania yesterday? That's kind of derailed a little bit, right?
Yeah. Well, I think with
Say that
Arch,
again.
Archman and the Archmania whole craze at Texas is that gone down a little bit now? You think?
yeah, he's not.
Yeah, my audio's cutting out horribly, guys. But I don't know if I'm stepping over anybody or not. I thought I heard Dave in the background, but just to let y'all know, my audio is cutting out horribly. So y'all go ahead and I'll come back in if my audio straightens out.
All right. I was for me. I heard this morning that they, as far as I'm not the betting guy, as you guys know, that's not my thing. For me personally, Arch Manning, I think is going to be really good. I think that he's playing against, on the road against Ohio State, the defending national champion. I'm not making any excuses because I don't care who won. I didn't care who won the game, but just looking at just a guy that loves college football. He's not a freshman, but this is the first time he's had a real chance to really be his team. And, I believe that he'll have a good year. I don't think he wins. There are so many people that I thought it was ridiculous to put pressure on the kid to say that he's going to win the Heisman when you hadn't even seen the kid. This is now his team. He's waited a couple years. So for me, I don't find it. In fact, lawyer on call says it's not true. Notre Dame will not be joining the Big Ten in 2028 or anytime soon. As a matter of fact, the only way that you're going to get, and I'm going to take not to step on Kyle's toes because he's our realignment guy, but I would say the only way that you're going to get them to join a conference is to say they can't be in the playoff. And that's the only way. Yeah. And I don't see that happening. Maybe it will, but I really don't see that happening unless they get left out.
If it happens, it'll be look in 31. That's right before the 2031 season is when all this stuff's going to really happen because that's when everybody's media deal is up. And there's a lot of people that think that you're still going to get the Big Ten and the SEC break away and form like a 50 to 60 team super NFL type conference. So if that happens, then I can see Notre Dame joining. If that doesn't happen, Notre Dame's not joining the conference. If you have the super conferences form, they'll join at that point, but that'll be the only way.
Yeah, and they've got so much. Johnny, do you know their? I know Shell. Shell's like our Shell Powell that listens and watches. He actually is an expert on endowments, and he told me the number for Notre Dame because we were talking about this very thing. Why we both, I knew it was a big number, but their donors have said they'll give even more money to stay independent. But their endowment is unbelievable. Philip's talking about the deal with. They've got a really big deal with NBC.
Yeah.
And the ACC teams
NBC,
the ACC doesn't get any. Anyway, guys, I did want to mention one thing too. By the way, is that I know I talk about it a lot, but when I saw that NC State game, I was going to say earlier, and I forgot to mention this, and then we can get out of here if you want. But their last call on comments. But I really felt like with watching that game, we are a P4 team, and it comes down to raising money. And, Kyle, we were talking about, I thought about you with we got to have that store. Johnny, you were down there in Coastal with me, having a store in Dowdy-Ficklin. Let's make
a team store inside Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Have a store where you can buy a whole bunch of. I believe you can buy a whole bunch. I don't know what it is, but going in a store, being able to pick something up versus having a trailer. And I'm not knocking the people, but I just felt like that's a lot of improvements we can make to Dowdy-Ficklin. I believe that.
I agree. I think we should have a team store inside that. I think there's more pressing issues, and it's a lot of other football topics going on this football season. But I agree. Freaking Ranger Stadium has a team store.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to have a team store, and I do think it would help move more merchandise to just have it a stand-or trailer. I agree with that 100%. I don't. To me, that's a no-brainer. There should definitely be a team store at Dowdy Ficklin.
And having
I'm interested. I was going to say I'm interested to see what the new tailgate area is going to look like where Scales was.
Thank you.
I'm hoping they do. I hope that's like an aesthetically pleasing, like impressive area where you don't have to put a lot of money into it to make it look impressive. But you know,
Alec says you need to have a team store in Dowdy Ficklin where some of the merchandise is exclusive to only that store. I agree with you, Alan, because that way.
I would do game day only merch. I would do the only way you can get this specific T-shirt is to come to the game. So I mean, there's all kinds of cool things you could do. Limited edition stuff.
NBC's deal with Notre Dame, $50 million a year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's pretty penny. Oh, honestly, though, as big as that sounds, go check the Big Ten TV deal per school, and then check their revenue sharing. The only way it benefits Notre Dame is to stay independent, really, instead of going through the Big Ten, is when they make the playoff. They don't have to share that playoff money with anybody else in their conference because they ain't in one. So that's when they really make bank.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it. They have the $50 million they're getting from the TV, plus again, how much? Think about this. I heard a stat when that whole thing was going down with Joe Paterno and what's his name, Sandusky.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't want to talk about that, but something like, I want to say
that's a fun topic. Let's talk about that.
No. I was going to talk about how much Penn State makes off of football is $60 million a year. 60.
Jeez.
When was this? You were hearing this?
This is whenever that Sandusky thing went down.
Oh, it's way more than that now.
Sure.
Stevie, quickly Google what the television contract is worth per team for the Big Ten in 2025.
90
million.
There you go, per school. Yeah, so that $50 million is diddly squat. Because, it would benefit them financially to join the Big Ten. The reason they don't do it is because of stuff like when they make the playoffs. They don't have to share that money with anybody.
And let me tell you something. The donors, they would lose a lot. They would lose. I bet you they would lose more than 40.
I bet they wouldn't. I bet you those same donors who want Notre Dame to win would keep winning in the Big Ten. People will say all kinds of things to get their way, and then when they don't get their way, they'll change their tune. So it's not like, oh, I love Notre Dame football, but since we joined the Big Ten, I don't anymore. Well, I think it'll happen. I think it'll happen for Notre Dame in a conference if it comes down to we're making these two super conferences and everybody else is going to be a step below. I think that's going to happen at some point. So, but
so for me, how much? Let me ask you this, guys. How much money realistically, and how much we know the cap is what for the revenue sharing?
Revenue sharing, $21 million.
Yeah. So what do you think that our number is going to be for that?
I
haven't heard.
Gilbert won't release it. Memphis is 1, South Florida's 2. We think we're 4 because Tulane doesn't release their numbers at all. We're projected to be 3. We're projected to be 3 or 4, depending on us and Tulane. If you ask me, I had to guess between 10 and 12 million is what I think we're sharing in revenue.
Yeah.
Look at that. He's at 11. I said between 10 and 12.
Yeah.
So there you go.
There you go. How can we get that number up? We're not going to get it to. I'm not asking for the impossible of 20 or 20.
Increase revenue. I mean, you got to increase revenue. I think the touchdown. I think they need to promote that harder. Promote it during the game. You can pledge anytime we score a touchdown that goes to revenue sharing. I think everybody needs to participate in that. Other things, you just be creative. See if we can get naming rights for the field corporately. Corporate naming rights to the stadium. I mean, can it be the Wawa Dowdy Ficklin Stadium? I mean, Wawa. Hey, I'm reaching out to the folks at Wawa. Wawa, you want to? Somebody send this to Wawa. Make a reel of this. Wawa, you want to get your culture and just entrench into Eastern North Carolina in the whole, and all your Yankee gas station goodness. Sheets kind of rules things down here, but people are going Wawa for Wawa. So I'm challenging Wawa.
I'll tell you what I do.
Wawa Dowdy Ficklin Stadium. That's how you increase revenue.
Johnny, let's put Hey, Johnny, you're from Virginia, and Stevie's
He sure is.
Southern Virginia.
Stevie's from Virginia.
I knew that was coming.
Hey guys, let's put a Wawa in the stadium. A little mini Wawa would be cool to go in there and
Oh, you get tons of Yankees to show up. I don't know what being from Virginia has to do with anything. You get tons of Yankees
that's
to show
where
up.
because they're both Sheets and Wawa are from Pennsylvania, and
Correct, and that's closer to Virginia than it is North Carolina.
And the most south that Wawa used to be was Virginia until the last year or two. So put a Wawa. We can put a Wawa in there and have a little mini store you can walk in and get your whatever you want in there.
Yeah, I don't know about all that, but I'm just saying that you want to know how to increase revenue, stuff like that. Naming rights, corporate sponsors. I was making a joke about Wawa because they're trying to entrench. They're trying to entrench their way into Eastern North Carolina, and so that is how you increase revenue. That's going to be the biggest thing, is to get corporate naming rights for things.
How about the one more thing I was going to ask you? Last Saturday, week 0, I was up at you guys know, Johnny, I was there, and I know Kyle does. I don't know if Stevie knew, but I was at the Redskins game, and it was preseason. They're resting 33 players. The only reason I went was because my friends, we have a good time going up and back and spending some time together. And they had their 50-50, and at a preseason game when it's not packed, the 50-50 was $20,000.
Yeah, the bowl game this past year in Annapolis, it was like 30. Like somebody took home like 27,000.
So that's why
I mean,
I
don't think it's allowed. Yes, I've talked about 50-50 draw. I think it's a great idea. I think somehow it's not allowed in North Carolina because of gambling laws at sporting events. I don't know. That needs to be changed. But a 50, that is the way to also increase revenue, homegrown. But to do it in big dollars is corporate sponsors, and we need to get on that. We need to get on that. And guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. Y'all can sit up here and talk all night if you want to, but I do want to ask one more last thing before we go. Quickly, next weekend's first home game against Campbell. People will be tailgating. So I'm not a big tailgater. So the first question is, if you are tailgating, what's on your tailgate menu? This is for the people doing the show and the listeners. If you are tailgating against Campbell, what is your tailgate menu for week 1? And if you're not, what is your favorite tailgate food? I will go chicken wings. It will be my favorite tailgate food. I'm not tailgating. I'll just park and go to the game and walk in. I go wings. JR, you tailgating? And if you are, what's on the menu?
I'll be tailgating. I think Bubba's joining us.
What's on the menu?
It's up to Tom. He's the chef. You never eat before one of Tom's tailgates. He always brings it, and it's always good. And I have no idea what it is, but I know it'll be good.
Tom is
probably pork butt. I'm guessing week 1, probably pork butt.
Pork butt. All right. So barbecue.
And our tailgate spot is literally right behind the stadium. So Kyle and Johnny, and maybe Stevie, we can get you sneak you out to at least. Can you do a Thursday night game or not?
We'll see. Well, Thursday night during football season, I'll be practicing.
Oh yeah, duh.
Yeah. Stevie, are you got to work Saturday, so you won't be at the Campbell game?
No, I won't be there. Sorry.
Are you coming to the BYU game? I know you talked about it.
I'm still trying. I'm still trying to work it out.
I've got a ticket. I've got a ticket with your name on it if you want.
All right, I'm still trying to work it out, so we'll see.
Well, Stevie, what's your favorite tailgate food?
Well, this week we'll have fried camel.
Oh,
That's something I've never had. So.
I mean, wings. Wings would definitely be it.
Barbecue wings or Philip Lee.
Yeah, I would love some good old wings and some good beer. I mean, wings has always been my favorite.
All right.
What about you, Kyle?
I already said.
What? Oh, I missed it.
Wings.
Wings.
You just stole my answer.
Alike.
So
ask me what I had for dinner.
Wings.
That's correct.
All right,
Dave, are you tailgating this week? If so, what's on your menu? If not, what's your favorite tailgate item?
Well, I haven't created that, but I have to say,
what's your favorite then?
Wings. It really is.
Damn, you can't say wings. You got to say something different.
Besides wings,
I love a good. Simple cheeseburger. Would be good.
All right, yeah, good burger's good. What about what?
Pulled pork.
Yeah, barbecue. Well, that's what
pulled
JR
pork
said that
barbecue.
Tom was doing a pork butt, so that would be pulled pork barbecue. Matt Redmond said barbecue and fried chicken.
Oh, yeah.
Payne
Well,
said he likes a good sauce. Well, no, Italian sausage.
you can tell we're in North Carolina.
Payne, I was going to make a sausage joke, but let me tell you something, brother. If I go to a street fair or a festival or any kind of, the first thing I do is hit up the Italian sausage booth.
How about that?
Every freaking
Deer
time.
season. You guys
Yeah, well, you can tell we're in North Carolina. Look at that. Deer season comes in. It's deer burger.
and Parker's.
And
There
that
you
guy
go.
behind you, over your shoulder, Dave, is giving me he's freaking me out over there. You see that guy over Dave's shoulder over there?
He's actually streaking on the field. If you can see it, like, well, you can't see. I can't do that. I don't have a pointer, but
Yeah, I do. I see his head. Yes.
all right. Well, we'll talk more about the preview. I'll come up with a menu for. We literally are a parking space like right behind the scoreboard end of the stadium. I read that, so we need to do that. We'll make it happen between now and then. I promise. All right, guys, you ready to get out of here?
Let's go.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Stevie, Johnny, Kyle from LaGrange also. And we'll see you next time. We'll see you on Wednesday nights, unless there's an emergency podcast. We'll do that at once. But Wednesday night at 8.
Why would you even say? Why is there any rumors that we think we would have an emergency?
No, but I like to say them. But if we have that, I just generically speaking, I don't know of anything.
Okay. All right. Good.
Yeah. All right. We'll get out of here. Until next time, we'll see you. And as always, enjoy. By the way, happy Labor Day weekend. Enjoy Labor Day tomorrow. And as always, go Pirates.
You're watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.